One of the major failures, at least at the federal level, is kind of a lack of coherent policy, a lack of a body that actually manages water resources. And so I think one of the fundamental changes that are needed is to establish some sort of comprehensive, coherent federal water policy. Now, whether that be through kind of the establishment of a Department of Water that would kind of parallel a Department of Energy, or some combination of agencies working together. There are a variety of agencies that work on water, sometimes with conflicting mandates, conflicting roles, and so there needs to be a way to bring those organizations, those agencies together to work in ways, in a more comprehensive way.
Water use efficiency for all sectors, agricultural sectors, the energy sector that uses a lot of water, the industrial sector, the domestic supply sector. We've got to reduce water demands for all those sectors. The other thing that we're probably going to have to look at is the use of non-traditional water resources to supplement future water supplies. So that could be the use of seawater for cooling power plants. That could be the use of seawater or brackish water for water supplies through desalination. It could be the use and utilization of produced water from oil and gas wells. It could be the reuse, both indirect and direct reuse of wastewater for industrial supplies or for domestic supplies of water supplies. So we're going to have to look at our water availability, our overall water supplies, both traditional and non-traditional, and figure out a good way to use those supplies most efficiently for the purposes that we need in the future.
An important first step that seems to have bubbled out of this meeting is to improve the linkages between the health community and the water community, and establish more of a consistent and coherent dialogue so that people understand the health implication of water and the health providers understand those issues as well.
Great. Well, one of the things that's interesting is that we don't actually have very good data about how water is used and managed in our streams. Many people don't have meters on their houses. They don't know how much water they use, and if they have a meter, they don't know if they're using a little water or a lot of water compared to their neighbors. So we need better information, better signals, and then at a national scale, we need to be thinking about what the balance is between water for fish and wildlife, water for hydropower, water for new development in cities, water for power plants. If you ask people where most of the water in the United States is used, they'll say, oh, well, people use it. Well, it turns out most water is in fact used by power plants and by irrigation. And the average person doesn't know that.
The EPA did a gap analysis study a few years ago, and they estimated that there's a price tag of $1 trillion to take care of the infrastructure that needs to be repaired and upgraded. When you look at that kind of money, there's clearly going to be some type of federal element involved with that. To what degree is certainly a point of debate right now. In addition, if you look at increasing rates as a way to try to address that issue, that there's a need for public outreach for them to understand the value of the infrastructure and the need to upgrade that infrastructure. So when you look at what the Johnson Foundation does here at Wingspread, is they bring together a varied group of people to come around a particular issue, and the fact that they can bring together engineers and scientists and representatives from government and from NGOs and from public service groups all around the table to address that issue. That's the strength of the Johnson Foundation, as I see it, is bringing together a diverse group of people and having them really focus and concentrate on a single issue for a couple of days and try to get some results.